Hi, I'm Lisa Mirabile, and I'm here with Robert Stricoff, our Chief Development Officer for EAC.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well today. We have a lot to talk about.
We have so much to talk about, and as we've talked about in this EAC More to Do podcast, there's always more to do.
There is so much more to do, and today we have a very important guest who's been with EAC for a pretty long time now. Is that
Demi-
correct?
Demisha, how long have you been with the EAC Network?
I have been with EAC over 17 years.
Wow.
So this is Demishia Owens,
Oh,
and she has a really important role that she plays with the EAC network. I'm just going to introduce her, and Demishia, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role?
Okay. I am the program director for 3 programs for EAC. All of them are youth programs. The programs focus on at-risk youth, foster care youth. And I love doing what I do. I love giving back and love being there for them. The Alternatives for Youth program focuses on youth from the age of 6 years old to 18 years old who are displaying a lot of different behaviors. They are experiencing bullying, sex trafficking, a lot of family dynamic where maybe a divorce is in place, drug addiction with the parent, anything that teenagers go through, we have those youth come into our program. We also have gang involvement, substance abuse, mental health, and sometimes all of those within one family.
Right.
So what we do is we try to provide immediate crisis and home services. We do an assessment. We see why the child is behaving the way they're behaving. And we then try to link them to a variety of resources in the community. We offer a lot of internal services as well because we find, as the years have gone by, we've continued to add on services. So we offer mentorship. We offer parent support groups in English and in Spanish, which is also free to the community. We also offer a teen enrichment program, which consists of support groups. So we have a girls support group because many of the girls in our programs suffer from self-esteem, healthy relationships. So we have 6-week support groups that we have ongoing that focus, the group is actually called Helping Each Other Reach Success. And we do it in a non-traditional way because, they hear all of this lecturing and everything at school. They hear lecturing from teachers, they hear lecturing from parents. So we do a lot of activities to help them to understand maybe about STDs or, how to have a healthy relationship, drugs and alcohol, all those topics that are really imperative for our youth to know today. We also have a boys group. It's called Boys to Men, and they focus a lot on a lot of current events that are going on, anger management, not having a father in their lives, being peer pressure to join a gang. These are the type of topics that they discuss, and it has been very helpful for our youth. Um,
And where is this? Where do you
this
practice?
program is located in Suffolk County. We service all of Suffolk County, from Farmingdale to Fire Island, Montauk. We service the whole Suffolk County for that program. We offer a teen enrichment program in the sense of recreational activities and positive youth development that is known to really help kids. So we do, they go snow tubing, they go to a Knicks game, they go to do a variety of events. Kids that are occupied and doing constructive activities usually stay out of
Yeah,
trouble.
keeping them
yeah,
constructive, keeping
yeah.
them busy. So
Mhm.
all of these children, excuse me, but EAC has 100 and how many programs? 14 programs.
114 programs and
So it's
counting.
hard. It's hard for me to keep track of all of them, and I really appreciate you taking the time to educate our listeners, but also myself, because I'm a board member, and there's just so much to learn and ways to help. Right. So questions that I have around this. Um, so they're all in foster care. Everyone that you touch is within the foster care system. No one really outside.
Not everyone.
Okay.
So with the Chance to Advance program, we focus on youth who are only in foster care and adopted. We
Okay.
expanded to adopted because we saw that that was a population that was being neglected.
Yeah.
So youth sometimes would be adopted, but they still didn't feel accepted. They
Right.
started to have behaviors because, for a variety of reasons. We know abandoned children, have feel trauma. And
Yeah.
so we also started servicing that population as well. So the Chance to Advance program just focuses on youth in foster care and adopted. The Alternatives for Youth and Home-Based program focus on all youth in Suffolk County. So anyone who needs it, no matter your ethnicity, your financial status, we help everybody in that area.
And you're getting referrals from whom? The Department of Social Services, the police. How are we reaching us at the EAC Network, reaching these children?
For the Alternatives for Youth program, we get our referrals directly from probation. However, the people that are referring them are Suffolk County Police Department, Department of Social Services. We get a large referral base from school districts, but hospitals everywhere for the Alternatives for Youth program. The home-based program primarily comes from family court and probation. And the Chance to Advance program, we receive referrals from Suffolk County, Nassau County, either actual foster care parents or agencies that are affiliated with foster care youth.
You rattled off so many things that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
It's
it's a necessity, but it's also very overwhelming. I mean, when you talk about that demographic, what do you see most often within these young people? I know you said they have low self-esteem. Talk a little bit about them as people. Who are they, and what do you see with
what are you
with
seeing,
these
right?
kids?
What are you seeing? Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, through my AFI program, I would say it's the most difficult and hardest program. So I will talk about them first.
Sure.
With that program, we see everything. But lately, what we've been seeing, especially since COVID and the pandemic, is a lot of physical aggression, even from younger children. So it's definitely starting at a younger age where we're having 7-year-olds who may, beat up their parent who has cancer. Okay, the parent is having difficulty parenting that child, obviously because of physical limitations. We have a lot of that going on lately, or a parent who has a disability, or a grandmother who is now taking custody of all of these children because of things going on with their children. Now that they're a grandmother to 3 or 4 kids, and it's very difficult to provide financially, provide emotionally,
Yeah.
so we are definitely seeing that as a new trend. And we are also seeing a lot of younger girls who are being sex trafficked. And it's really happening
Wow.
by other girls recruiting them. It could be the same age or older. So for example, we've had a lot of girls who say, you know what, let's just come to a party with me, come to a hotel party with
Oh
me.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a female friend, encouraging them to come to a party. And the next thing you know, we've had some girls who actually could not leave, who were trapped, who were drugged.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just want to bring back that this is Suffolk County, Long Island, just so we're aware. This is what's happening
Right.
here in our community, at Suffolk County, Long Island, not
Somewhere
anywhere else.
Right. It's not in.
These are kids that are here.
Right.
Okay.
It's-
I'm sorry. I just had to ground everyone for a minute.
Right.
It's just not spoken of enough. Okay.
So that we're also, experiencing that. We do work closely with like the gang unit probation, because there is gang affiliation sometimes with these almost abductions, because, you go somewhere, you're not being released and you can't leave. So there's a lot of times there's gang involvement with that. But it's also just a lot of kids just struggling mentally, suicidal. Um, they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Their parents don't know how to deal with their emotions, and they feel that they're hopeless and there's nothing else left for them.
Mental illness here really lacks education. There aren't a lot of programs. Like, I know as a parent, I didn't come with an instruction book, right?
Yep.
Like, my
Yep.
kids didn't come with that instruction book. So I'm looking for tools myself to raise adolescents, right? How to guide them, how to help them make good decisions. And I consider myself an active parent, let alone, so I can imagine the struggles that, are happening for some of these young kids.
Demishia, we're, for our listeners, this is the EAC More to Do podcast. We're so, happy is not the right word, right? Because we wish we didn't have to have these programs, but we're proud of you and the work that you do. So I want to talk a little bit about you. Like, how do you get into this kind of work, right? How do you say, I have the internal fortitude and strength and talent to help a child who's going through this. And I know that's what some of our listeners are thinking. Like, how do you do it, Demishia? Can you tell us a little bit about, your history and what drives you to help children every single day?
Okay. Well, I actually, I've experienced trauma in my past, which actually drove me to go to college to John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and I just loved it, and I said, I want to work with children. So I started out by working at a homeless shelter. I did that for several years, working with families. And then I saw the opportunity to work at EAC, working with children, which is what I initially wanted to do. And that's how I kind of joined EAC.
Yeah.
And I've loved it ever since because I haven't left. But this is not a job that you're going to do for money. This is not a job for that. This is a job because you want to be there for those and you want to help others. That's something that you come with that's inside of you, I feel. This is not, this job can be very overwhelming, but I don't look at it that way. I'm on call almost 24 hours a day, just in case of emergencies, because we're always having emergencies. So that's, this is something that you want to be there. I've had so many parents, I even have children, call me and say thank you. People that we didn't even know we made a difference for. So that keeps me going. Like, oh my goodness, we're doing the right thing. This is why we do it.
How many people are in your program, as far as not in the program, but who work with you? How many people do you work with at EAC?
Probably at least 25 with me. I might be, but that's around the range.
Yeah.
25 or so.
Are you looking for volunteers or?
Yes, we are looking for volunteers for the Chance to Advance program. We welcome you, and that basically works with youth who are in foster care to be their mentor from children who are age 8 to 21. We service.
So, Demishia, if I wanted to be a volunteer, or some of our listeners wanted to volunteer, and I've heard it, right? I've heard it from supporters of ours, like, oh, I know EAC. I was a Chance to Advance volunteer, and I didn't even know that, right? It's a small part of their life. And so, thank you again for that. But if I wanted to be a volunteer, our listeners want to be a volunteer, how do they reach out to you? How do they connect with you in your office?
They can give me a call. My phone number is 631-648-2700. They can also email me, Demishia, DEMISHIA.Owens, OWENS, @EACnetwork.org.
That's great. And of course, this information is on our website, which is EAC-network.org. We encourage you to visit the website, see and feel the impact, and obviously listen to this podcast and share it with your friends. Because I think, when we talk about 114 programs, there are so many things that the EAC Network does, right? But helping a child, I'm not sure if that's number one, but it's pretty close, right? Right. We say we have a lot of number ones, but helping a child in alternatives to youth, home-based program, Chance to Advance is obviously vitally important. And one of the things that our CEO says all the time is that we have angels walking amongst us.
That's true.
And Demishia and your staff are certainly angels walking amongst us. So, thank you for that, and keep up the great work. You talked a lot about the partners that you work with. You mentioned probation. You mentioned Suffolk County Police Department. Can you talk a little bit about that? Who are your partners? And we have a special announcement afterwards, but who are your partners? Who are the people and the organizations that you're working with to create this vitally important program to help Nassau and Suffolk County's youth?
We work closely with the Suffolk County Department of Social Services. We also work with Nassau County Department of Social Service. We work with Suffolk County Probation, the Office of Mental Hygiene in Suffolk County Youth Bureaus. We work with the whole county, I would say Suffolk County. We collaborate, all the substance abuse agencies. So we work as a community. It's a big collaborative effort. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child. And I feel that that's what we do at Suffolk County. So we do work with a lot of different agencies, but those are some of the main ones. We also work with Long Island Advocacy Center. They are great educational advocates for our children who are displaying a lot of limitations and disabilities education-wise. So, we do have a lot of agencies that we work with. I'm actually very proud of that.
Lisa, I was talking to the Suffolk County Sheriff Sheriff Toulon, and he knew about this program, obviously, because of the gang work that you're doing, the gang-related work that you're doing.
Yes.
So if you can, obviously the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department, thank you to the men and women in the Sheriff's Department and to the sheriff. But you also mentioned the Suffolk County Police Department and individual precincts, and I think that's an important aspect of this. This is not just helping a kid, right? I mean,
Right. It's not just helping kids. There's so many people that this program touches, right?
Right.
You have the grandparents, the parents that are involved. You give them the tools. You have the community, right?
The community at large, right?
Yes, and then the friends of these people, right? Because kids enroll their own friends, tell them and share their experiences,
Right.
make a positive effect on all of them. So the work that you do, even though it looks like it's narrow and you're with one child, that child's effect on the community is so great. So I want to thank you, Demishia, again for all the wonderful work that you do.
And, we're proud to announce, and this is something that's gone on for a few years, but we're proud to announce on this podcast that the Bethpage Federal Credit Union has stepped up again in a very, very kind and generous way by donating $10,000 to our holiday shopping spree to help fund toys, gifts for kids at risk, right? And a lot of these kids, we talk about the holiday season, and a lot of these kids don't have a holiday season. And the Bethpage Federal Credit Union $10,000 donation and the work of the EAC Network certainly doesn't replace or give them a holiday season, but gives them a day of hope, gives them a day to smile, to think about, and a day to look forward to. Can you talk a little bit? First of all, thank you to Bethpage Federal Credit Union.
Thank you, Bethpage Federal Credit Union.
So much.
We can't do it without you. And as I said, it's not just generous, but I think it's kind. It's a kind donation because they know the impact that this one day can have on a child. So it's December 14th at the Walmart in Farmingdale, starting, I think, is it 2 o'clock, Demishia? It's in the afternoon, right? 2 o'clock. Volunteers from Bethpage Federal Credit Union come down. They spend the afternoon with the child and help that young person walk through and shop. Because I did it last year, and Lisa, I'll tell you something that you might not think about. A lot of these kids don't know how to shop.
Really?
Because right, Demishia? They don't know how to shop because they're not shoppers, right? They don't know. They don't do the normal things that kids, that a 13 or 14-year-old person does. Right. So that is one of the impacts that I walked away with last year. Like, they weren't sure how to shop. So not only does Bethpage Federal Credit Union support financially, make a financial donation to support the program, their volunteers come down and help these kids shop. So again, thank you to Bethpage Federal Credit Union. Can you talk a little bit more about that day?
Yes, it's a beautiful experience. I think that I cry every year, some form or fashion. It's like my highlight of the year. But yes, thank you so much to Bethpage Credit Union. There are, not only do we thank you for the donation, but also taking these kids shopping, and being a role model to them, just even in that short period of time. So this year, definitely we are servicing 100 kids. 100 kids get to go shopping at Walmart. They get to have $100 tax-free, and the Bethpage Credit Union volunteers, along with some other volunteers, board members, will be taking some of the kids shopping. Many of the kids that are coming are either scheduled to not get any gifts at all. I've actually had a mother call me this weekend, and she said, I just wanted to contact you to thank you. I just came out of a shelter. I had the 5 kids. I had no gifts. We barely have furniture. So she was so grateful that she's being able to be given this opportunity. So I think it definitely puts a big smile on these kids' faces, gives them something to look forward to, gives them some happiness in their lives that may not look so great. And I'm really excited about it.
The one thing that I loved about this program is that you actually get to mentor on that day, that they actually get to walk alongside and experience it. A lot of times you're disconnected from that gift. Right? When you're giving to a program, you're a little disconnected. It's one step away. But to be able to walk alongside a child during a holiday season, like you said, is an emotional and also very impactful and meaningful experience for you as an adult, but more importantly, for that child that's walking next to you.
Yeah, and we also thank Walmart for supporting the shopping day. They have to set aside, a certain number of staff members
Yes.
to support the center, the actual shopping. So they have an in-kind donation to support this. So Walmart, thank you so much for this. We look forward to being there. Again, December 14th, 2 o'clock. If you want to make a donation, you certainly can go to the EAC Network, EAC-network.org, to make a donation to support the holiday shopping spree. Or you can
Any
make
of
a
our
small
programs.
donation to make a huge impact, right? Text 2022 to 53555 to make a $20.22 donation, and that money will go to supporting programs like this.
We can't survive without your donation. We can't. We just have 114 programs that cannot flourish and do so much more within our community without your support. So we ask you to please go to EAC-network.org and find a way to get involved, even if it can't be a donation.
Right. This program and others really not only help the kids, but this is a community program, right? This is about public safety in Nassau and Suffolk County. This is about helping your community, helping your neighborhood, helping our neighborhood, right? Lisa, I know you live in Suffolk County. I live in Suffolk County. So it can't be said enough. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for, sharing this. We're not done yet because Demishia has a million things else to talk about.
That's right. And one thing I want to talk about is the success, right? Yeah. These kids go through your programs and the success that they have. Now, we talked a little earlier off on the side, but we did speak about 1,000 children a year going through these programs that Demishia offers. That is, you have to times that by at least 10 to the effect that you make within a community, right, because of everyone that touches, right? So why don't you talk a little bit about the success stories that you've had with some of these youth?
We have so many, which I'm happy about, but I will share one or two. We do have so many people who call us and send us letters and cards, and it's a really positive experience. I actually started off as, which I forgot to mention, as a mentor in the Chance to Advance program. I volunteered, they have a camp in the summer. I volunteered for the camp, and I met the kids, and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to help. So from there, I became a mentor and I was a volunteer. I had a 15-year-old girl. She was in foster care because her mother was on drugs and also, being trafficked as well. And her father was also on drugs. So she was in foster care, and, I provided services, support, took her out, tried to, do the right thing. And initially she was doing really great. And then she took a turn because she was let out of foster care. Mm-hmm. So when you're let out of foster care, you don't have the resources at 18, 19 years old, what are you going to go do? So she ended up meeting someone and he began to traffic her. Wow. I was very distraught. I didn't know exactly what to do. I actually went to training and I followed the training recommendations and I was able to help her. She did get arrested, but I was able to help her. Long story short, she is now, I think, 30 years old. Yeah. And throughout all of the years, I've always kept in contact, and she's always kept me updated with her life. She is doing so well now. She is married. She just had a baby. She works 2 jobs. And consistently thanks EAC for the opportunities for the holiday spree, which she loved. That was like one of her most favorite events. Wow. The holiday spree, all of the support that we gave. And she always says, I could not have done it without you and EAC. I mean, all the time. So that one is a real personal one for me because I was
you're going to make us cry.
I know.
Yeah, so it's a real blessing to see that. But yes, we have, we actually recently had someone apply for EAC who was a success story in my Alternatives for Youth program.
Amazing.
To apply to get a job with EAC.
Yes, he wants to give back now because of all the great support.
All right, now I'm crying. I'm sorry.
He received. So when I met her, I actually recognized her name. I said, "Is this the same person?" And it was a great thing to see that because now she's giving back to what she, to the community because of what she experienced, and she sees the importance of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of those. The Alternatives for Youth program in general has a 90% success rate, which is very difficult in these
Wow.
times to have that. And success means that, we're diverting these kids from the criminal justice system, we're diverting them for residential placements, and we're improving the overall family functioning of these kids and families.
Demishia,
Gosh.
you need to say that last part again about the 90% success and what that means, right? Lisa and I talked about it just 2 minutes ago. We said it's not just helping kids, but that should be enough,
That's
right?
right.
That alone should be enough for people to support this program. But go into that. What does that 90% success mean to Suffolk County? What does that mean to us that live and work here?
Yes. So we have goals. All programs have goals. And with Suffolk County, one of our main goals is to divert the kids from the criminal justice system, divert them from being arrested, divert them from residential placements, to link them to services, to actually have them access those services, and to obviously promote positive youth development, positive coping skills. So when I say a 90% success rate, that means we're meeting those needs at that level. So, it's the families, they're going through a lot, so to really motivate parents, motivate children who sometimes don't even want to talk, it's a big deal, in my opinion. So we're
Very
really
big
proud
deal.
of that. We've been at a success rate of about that amount for 17 years. So as the times have continued to get harder, we have still been able to manage that.
If our listeners want to help out in a huge way with a small donation, text EAC 2022 to 53555. Make a $20.22 donation to EAC to support programs like this. It's a small donation to make a huge impact. Again, type EAC 2022 to 53555. You can be part of the solution. Lisa mentioned before, look at our website, get involved, become a mentor. I'm already thinking of 3 people that I know that I know want to be mentors, especially to young girls or to young boys that are struggling out there. So, Demishia, we can't thank you enough for bringing this information to us. And keep, as they say, keep on keeping on, right? Make sure that you keep touching and helping all the kids that you help. So, thank you so much. I know Lisa walked away. This never happens. This is our 8th podcast, and this is the one that's I think touched her heartstrings the most. So I can't even pretend to keep it going. It's just very difficult.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No. Of course. Listen, this is important information that we need to put out there. If you had a message, listen, we're talking to our general audience, right? We're talking to elected officials. We're talking to people that support Nassau and Suffolk County. What's your message to those people, to the stakeholders, right? You have 30 seconds to talk to, I don't know, the county executive and the 10 biggest CEOs in Suffolk County and the police commissioner and the sheriff's department and the governor, right? We're going to send this to Governor Hochul because I know New York State's a vital partner in this work. What's your message to those folks?
To continue to support programs like ours in the community is extremely important. We need more services, actually, mental health, substance abuse. These children are crying, they're in need, these families are crying, and these are not just, a lot of people think it's just certain families in a certain neighborhood. It's everyone. It's everyone. Um, it doesn't matter where you're from, ethnicity, we get every single type of family in our programs. So this can be so instrumental for our children, our future. It's only getting worse. The mental health is only getting worse, as we can even see on TV. But if they can continue to support our programs, even give more to help with the mental health support, substance abuse, we have kids using fentanyl and different things like that. So, those support services are just so important to continue the work that we do.
Sorry, I had to walk away. That just
No.
got me talking about, the 90% success rate is absolutely phenomenal. But when you shared that story about the girl who applied to EAC. That just got me. I tried to hold it together. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, so we create positive impact in the community, but, you know, they're staying out of jail. 70% of foster kids end up incarcerated. Yeah. So, I mean, keeping them out of the system, allowing them to be successful human beings, adults, contributing to our community. You know, it's not just about them or a child at that time. Yeah. It's about how they impact our community as they grow and flourish and stay out of the system and get jobs to help more people, which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your service. Continue doing what you're doing. Support, obviously, your staff and the 1,000 kids that you're seeing every year. Thank you to Walmart. Thank you to Bethpage Federal Credit Union. We hope to see you on the 14th. Come on down to visit us. Go to eac-network.org to find out more about this program and all the other 113 programs that we have, or to become a volunteer. View, like, and share this podcast.
View, like, and share the podcast.
View, like, and share this podcast.
Help us get the word out and help us to do more and support these angels that walk amongst us.
Thank you so much. We have to say, we do, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays to all of our listeners that are out there. I know the holiday season is very often the time to think about how fortunate you are, but it also is the time to give back.
That's right.
And if you could,
time to give back.
If you could think about making a small donation to make a big impact, again, text EAC 2022 to 53555. Thank you so much.
Thank you.